It was a warm summer night in 1978 when something strange happened at a small-town drive-in theater in upstate New York. The screen, a giant white rectangle against the dark sky, flickered to life long after closing. No car sat parked. No projectionist was inside the booth. And yet, a film began to play. A film no one ever recalled making. But what would you do if you saw a movie that was never released? Would you stay and watch, or drive away in silence? The story goes that the theater was called the Moonlight Drive-In. It had opened in the early 1950s, when drive-ins were at the height of American life. Families packed into cars with sodas, popcorn, and mosquito spray, watching cowboy flicks and love stories beneath the stars. By the late 70s, though, the shine was fading. Television and home video were pulling people inside. Many screens across the country stood empty, weather-beaten, waiting for demolition. And maybe that's where the mystery begins. What does a place do with itself when it feels forgotten? That night, the owner had closed up early. Reports say the ticket booth was locked, the concession stand shut down. Yet just past midnight, locals living near the field swore they heard the low hum of a projector. Some even saw the screen glow from their windows, a pale light drifting across the tree-line. Curiosity led a handful of neighbors to walk over, thinking perhaps kids had broken in. Instead, they found something else. Imagine stepping onto an empty lot and hearing film reels spin on their own. Would you dare look closer? What they saw was a black and white picture, grainy and silent. The reel showed faces they didn't recognize, actors who never belonged to Hollywood. A family seated around a table, a woman hanging laundry, a man walking into the woods and never returning. The pacing was strange, dreamlike, almost as if the film wasn't meant for audiences at all, but for someone's private memory. No title card appeared, no credits rolled, and when the reel ended, it simply looped back to the beginning, again and again through the night. Here's the chilling question. Was this a movie, or was it someone's life, captured and left behind? When word spread, more people came to witness it. Teenagers parked their cars in weeds, headlights off, watching in uneasy silence. Parents brought children, though many regretted it, as the scenes grew darker each time they looked. The man in the film was eventually seen carrying something heavy into the woods. Some swore it was a body. Others thought it was nothing more than firewood. The reel never showed what happened next. It only cut back to the family's dinner table, smiles frozen on faces that now seemed more sinister than sweet. Would your mind fill in the missing pieces, or would you insist on only what the screen showed? Attempts were made to stop the film. The owner, shaken by the stories, came with police to shut it down. But each time the booth was checked, the projector was off, the reels empty, no electricity flowing through the wires. Yet the moment they left, neighbors claimed the glow would return by nightfall. Film historians from nearby colleges even visited. They wanted cataloged the footage to see if perhaps it was an unreleased short or an old student project. But whenever cameras were brought to record it, the screen went dark. Strangely, only those who arrived with bare eyes seemed able to see it all. What would you believe? A story you can't prove, or your own memory whispering that you saw it with your own eyes? By 1982, the Moonlight Drive-In was closed for good. The land grew wild, weeds climbing the frame of the screen, the booth sinking into dust. Yet, even years later, people claim to see the glow of film across the trees on certain nights. Passing drivers slowed, thinking the place had reopened, only to find an empty lot with no sound but the chirp of crickets. There's an old rumor that a reel was finally recovered from the booth after demolition, but no record of it exists today. Some say the box was sent to a university archive, mislabeled and buried among thousands of forgotten films. Others believe it was burned by the owner, too frightened of what it contained. And here's the hardest question of all. Was the reel ever real, or did the community dream it into being, out of loneliness for a theater that once brought them joy? Because that's what makes this story linger. It isn't just about a haunting. It's about memory, about how places we love fade into shadows. And sometimes the shadows find a way to remind us they're still there. Maybe the Moonlight Drive-In was simply refusing to die quietly, replaying its own ghost stories until the last frame of film melted away. And maybe, just maybe, it was a warning. that our lives, too, are reels spinning the dark, fragile, uncredited, waiting for someone to watch before they vanish forever. So, the next time you pass an abandoned lot or see a screen standing lonely against the sky, ask yourself, if the lights flickered on tonight, would you stop and watch the film? Thank you for spending these moments with me. If this story stirred something in you, I'd love for you to share your thoughts below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join me again for more forgotten stories waiting in the dark.